And we are live. Hello, everybody. I'm going to share this around with everyone and everywhere. You know. Hope you're all doing well. Be reading the comments here in just a minute. Let's see here. All right. Enough of that. What's up, Jeff? Hail and welcome. Hello and welcome to everyone working on, or continuing to work on the rune set for the bear. It's the Godfrey Bear up there in Canada. Just got off of Matt Petrie's live stream, Odin's Beard Woodworking. He was carving a 11, 12-inch Thor. There he is. What's up, Matt? Joining the live chat now. And so here he is. Yeah, he was just working on a big boy Thor, and I'm working on the Bear's driftwood rune set. This camera doesn't do the runes as much justice because for some reason it doesn't like to focus as well. But these are the driftwood pieces that I started the other day that I was streaming here, talking with everyone about. What's up there, Alfred? One-eyed heathen, hail. Yes, he does do awesome work. Jeff, I agree. I own several of his pieces. So I am now working on, the rest of these driftwood pieces that I not carved, but burned all the lines into the other day. I think it was Saturday night, something like that. And now we're going through and giving them some character. Just did now these, the Need Fire. We'll get into doing Isa, which is just looking like the letter I. Matt says loves my set from, oh yeah, the driftwood set. Yeah, I did a driftwood set for Matt. I did also a birch set. That was one of my older sets, one of the first sets that I got into doing. My style has changed a little bit since then. So he's got both. He's got both a driftwood and a they call it birchwood set. I think I like working on the birchwood sets a little bit more than I do the driftwood. Not that I don't like working on the driftwood. I like the aesthetic of the driftwood of the birch sets a little bit more. They come out looking like drums. Hey, there's Wyatt Coverdale. Yes, ice. I would be playing some music in the background, but the last video that I streamed here live, even though it was on Fimble Radio, the Donheim radio, which is pretty much mostly Donheim music, which you can play for free and not get copyright strikes for, there are other artists that are featured. And that video, that live stream, was got a few copyright strikes on it. So I'm not going to be doing that again. I've gone back through and tried to just remove the audio of that section, or mute the song, I should say. YouTube's being a little bit of a pain about it, removing it. So I just figured let's just not. Hello, David Beck. Howdy from Texas. What's up? Jeff has also a set that I made. He says they're awesome. Thank you so much. But I like the birch aesthetic. I mean, I think you guys would be the judge, but the driftwood aesthetic is pretty cool too. What I'm doing right now is, as you can kind of see from the camera, I am just going over and shading around the rune and giving it this kind of weathered look. So therefore, it's a bit more unique looking, It's a dark brown. So I'm just using like a shading tip on this wood burner and just kind of giving it some texture. And what it actually does too is it kind of creates this nice glossy, almost finished appearance and feel to the runes. Having a hard time with Issa. The energy of the rune is daunting. It's like coronavirus. It stops everything and it's too huge to just move out of the way or go around. Yeah, you know, Alfred, it's interesting because you know, ice is both, you know, ice is solid water, right? Water is life and water moves things and water is motion. Issa is stillness. And it is also and can be dangerous and daunting. You know, ice can kill. Not to sound morbid, but I used to talk with people and they would tell me, you know, the perfect murder weapon is an icicle. And I don't condone murder, of course. I'm not saying it is that, but the perfect murder weapon is an icicle, because if you have a big enough icicle and it sharpened down, you know, it sharpens down to a point, you can impale a delicate and sensitive part of the body, like your throat or your eye or even the temple or something, and end somebody. Hey there, Thunder Horse. And then there's no fingerprints. The evidence melts away, disappears, right? And so I was like, hey, I never really thought of that, but when you put it that way, it's can't really say you're wrong. So ice is daunting. Issa is daunting. Issa also, I think, focuses on the ego a lot, ourselves. You know, had an oops on your Harley, Jeff. Well, hope you're okay, buddy. Oops on Harleys is never a welcome thing. Hopefully, it wasn't too big of an oops. But yeah, no, the nature of Issa and stillness and stagnation and focusing on the ego, right? Focusing on yourself. There's a need or there's a focus on yourself for that moment and for that time that requires you to just stay still and stop motion, kind of pause and focus inward and focus on yourself. I've worked a lot with Issa and I've had to work a lot with Issa. Yeah, I should not be telling people this. Well, you know, I'm sure I'm not the only one that's thought of it, and I don't condone it. Let's just say that, you know. But and then just, you know, think about it, like the practicality of it, like for that to even work, you'd have to be like in the most specific of conditions, the most specific of environments. Everything would have to be it'd take a lot of effort and planning to make something like that even work. So hospital yesterday, ice at 55. Ooh. Speaking of ice, right? I'm like, how much of a you know, the timing that we're talking about Issa and ice, and here's Jeff just coming back from the hospital. Jeff, we're glad that you're here and able to at least join the live stream from the hospital. I did get your email, by the way. I don't always reply to emails promptly or at all, and it's horrible of me, but I do want to say thank you for the email. I did get it, your response. So, you know, I send those emails out every month for my patrons, the rune draws every month. So, you know, you're at that tier level where you'll get a monthly email from me. You're always welcome to respond or reply, but it's not necessary, but it's always nice to hear from you. So thank you very much. Thank you, Odin's Beard Woodworking. Matt, you out. Appreciate that. I stopped the travel. It does, right? It does stop your travels, boy. It puts you in a pause real quick. You know, you're gonna hold your horses, as the saying goes, with ice and with Issa. Yeah. Just literally just hook an icicle into their eye. It won't be a fun time for either of you. Yep, you're right there, Wyatt. But I'm in a bit of a time of Issa. You know, guys. I've started a cleanse detox 6 days ago. Today is day 6. You may notice that I am not, you know, I have no scotch or whatever around me. I'm drinking water. I don't have my vape. So basic days, I have not consumed alcohol, nicotine, or tobacco at all. And I've really focused on my diet and supplement regimen. I purchased a cleanse program to kind of get myself back on track. And it's been man, it's been challenging. So ESA is challenging and ESA is daunting because let me tell you, I've had so many thoughts nowadays. Basically, probably, the first couple days were all right, not too bad. But tell you what, the last 3, 4 days, I have had multiple times where I just said, forget it. This ain't worth it. It ain't worth the aggravation. It ain't worth I'm irritating. I'm irritating, right? My wife is like, what's wrong with you? She knows what's going on. She's aware. She's like, I can't stand you sometimes. You just need to, forget where the heck we were. Oh, we went to go eat somewhere. So because of my diet, right? She wanted to have Zaxby's, and I'm like, there ain't nothing here that I can eat. It's all fried food or it's processed, and I have to cook my own meals. I have to, eat fresh. Shout out Subway, but not because I'm not eating Subway. Um, and so like I was sitting in there and I was just like, I could smell the chicken, I could smell everything, and I was just like, I was so tempted to just give me some wings, give me a salad, Zaxby's salad, give me something. And I was just sitting there just stewing in it, man. She's like, you know what? Just go out into the car. Just go to the car. Just sit in the car. Like, fine. Just go sit in the car and not smell this delicious food in front of me. But I can't tell you how many times throughout, the last few days that I've just been like ready to just throw in the towel, you know. Delta 8 edibles, can't wait to in moderation. Delta 8 is something we've got out here too, Alfred, in Tennessee. It's legal here in Tennessee, and I haven't partaken because I'm on this cleanse, on this thing where can't be cooking with extra salt, and their salad dressings have got like all kinds of preservatives. So like all of my salads and everything that I have to like buy the greens and make my own salad dressing, know exactly what I'm putting into it. All of it has to be fresh or should be fresh. I make exceptions with some of like the vegetables. I'll get like those steamed vegetables that you can buy in the frozen section, fresh steamed vegetables that are frozen fresh. Make an exception there. But I was like, if I'm going to go to Zaxby's for a salad, I'm going to want like their chicken. I'm going to want their dressings and all that kind of stuff. So I'm like, you know what? Might as well just not even. Going back to the gym for the first time since outbreak in the morning, 5 a.m. Thunder Horse. I haven't been to the gym since this time last year. Not because of my own fault. I'll tell you that. I injured myself somehow last year, about April or so. I was, March last year, when COVID reared its ugly head and decided that, you guys are done and everything got shut down. And I stopped, going to the gym. I was like, well, fine, I'll just keep working out at home. I'll do push-ups and whatever. And I was doing, 400 or 500 push-ups a day. Got to bounce, got to do something. All right, Wyatt, thanks for stopping by. See you next time. Be back in a few. See you in a few, Jeff. I was working out, for almost every day, just doing push-ups and things like that. I go to bed one day. Like I said, this is like back in April or so. Go to bed, and I wake up the next day, and I have this just incredible pain between my shoulder blades, kind of like down the left side of my shoulder. And I couldn't do a push-up even if I wanted to, and I didn't want to because I was in so much pain. But if I wanted to, or if I tried, I had absolutely no inkling to do it. And then after a couple of weeks, when I tried, after I wasn't, because I was in pain for a few weeks. And there's Esau, as you can see. Yeah, let's see here. That's lighting. Do it that way. Yeah, see, it's blurry. It doesn't focus very well. but that's kind of what I'm saying. Like the piece that starts out and it's all plain, I shade it and it gets this kind of dark weathered look. But anyway, like after a few weeks of me just chilling and not doing anything, I tried to do a push up and I couldn't even do one. And that was going from doing 400 to 500 every day for like, a week, 2 weeks or whatever, to not even be able to do one. I lost all strength on my left side. I would go down to try to do a push up and my whole left side would collapse. I don't know what in the heck I did. I didn't feel anything pop or pull while I was doing push-ups. I literally went to bed feeling fine one day and woke up not feeling fine the next. And then basically since then, I just lost the will to try to get back into it. So as a result, I also kind of gave up on caring about, like my diet and just what I put into my body. I wasn't eating a lot of bad things. I was just eating just kind of things that I shouldn't be eating on a regular basis, lots of processed food, lots of packaged food, lots of eating out, all that kind of stuff, and not doing anything to burn off the calories, not staying active, not doing anything, because my job is a work at home kind of job. Thank you, Alfred. Appreciate that. And so since last year, I've talked a bit about this, I think, on other platforms, maybe not here, but since last year, I have gained 30 to 35 pounds, which for me, I think I did talk about it on the last live stream this past Saturday. 30 to 35 pounds in a year is a lot. And it wasn't the good kind of weight. It wasn't that I didn't even need to put on any weight, but I was just, again, I was not active. I was not doing anything to watch what I'm, putting into my body. I was drinking a lot. I mean, a lot more than I had ever drank. I don't even want to think about the tab of how much booze I went through last year and even into this year. But I said, I've got to do something to fix this. I've got to do something to reset my body and get back on track. So this was it. This was a huge leap for me. I basically went cold turkey on everything that I indulge in on a day-to-day basis. And sometimes a lot of it, like I said, I'm vaping all day long. I'm drinking coffee every day, multiple cups of coffee every day. And I was drinking scotch for, like I said, every day, not just a glass or two, for a year. And I'm like, this is not good, man. I can't be doing this long term. So yeah, it's easy, man. Like back when I was a kid, teenager in my 20s or whatever, I could eat and not gain a pound, man. Today I work out or I do something to lose a few pounds in a week and I look at a bowl of pasta and I gain 5 pounds just by looking at it, it seems. So it's a thing, it's definitely a thing. And it's a thing that I needed to really grab hold of. So that being said, my irritability has been high. And I woke up this morning. I actually got, I woke up to start my work day today and I couldn't because I had a migraine that had kept me up for several hours in the night. It's like 3, 4 in the morning. I wake up and I got this killer migraine and I can't, barely see. I can't open my eyes. I struggle to send a text to the people at my at work that I needed to let them know, like, I'm going to be late, got a migraine, can't see. Like, it was a struggle for me to send that. And I medicated. I stumbled out of bed to take a migraine pill or a couple of and went back to bed and fell back to sleep for a few hours, about 4 hours actually. The meds kicked in. I was just laying there, just writhing in pain, trying to find like peace, trying to find comfort. couldn't do it. Yeah, migraine, and definitely, I think the biggest thing of it was uh, I was I think it's part of the caffeine withdrawals, and I also think yesterday was a bad day for me. I was irritable and everything like that. I just was in a bad mood, and I didn't really eat, which is bad. And I think the combination of my blood sugar and no caffeine and everything overnight, just my body said nope, not having it. And then in the interim too, like I noticed today, I'm having some like I have my wisdom teeth in still, and I think one of my wisdom teeth is swollen. That happens occasionally, so it's like sore up in my head. So it's just a bunch of things, man, right now that are adding to my irritability. I'm like, you got anything else you want to throw my way? Um, Thanks, Alfred. That was a fifth a day before I stopped. I didn't do the measurements. Um, and I wouldn't consider myself I wasn't like, I didn't like wake up every day and be like, gotta have a drink. I wasn't at that level. Um, but I was at a level where it was like, I'd look at the clock and I'd see whatever time in the afternoon it was and be like, sure, pour a drink. Didn't matter what I was doing, didn't matter, you know, anything, pour a drink. And that could be, 1 o'clock in the afternoon. That could have been, whatever. And then dinner time, comes around, and I've already had several drinks in the afternoon, and pour another drink with dinner, and relax and have, so I mean, like I would probably have maybe not a fifth a day, but I was getting close to it. And when I realized just how much I was consuming, um, I'm like, damn, I'm going in the direction of becoming an alcoholic. Like it's gonna like one of these days, I'm gonna be like, wake up, pour a drink, and then think I'm okay. I don't need this, I don't need this to function. And then it's gonna happen, man. It's gonna happen. I'm gonna drink myself into an addiction. And I was on the fast track to it, man. I think so. Rather than allow that to happen, part of this cleanse is going to help reset my body, hopefully help me lose some weight, get into a more healthy routine, and get me to the point where I'm not feeling like I need to just drink all the time. Hey, Wyatt, welcome back. Sound like you with all the health complications or health complaints. Yeah, I don't know, Alfred. It's like I'm usually a pretty just nothing's really going on with me health wise kind of guy. But I think it's largely due to the fact that I'm changing my lifestyle in such a drastic way in such a short period of time that my body's like, hey, man, whoo, okay, here we go. And it's letting me know. I mean, heck, the other day I was just like sitting there and I'm like, back hurts. Like I felt achy and felt sore for no reason. I just felt achy and sore. And I'm, researching and reading the things about this program. And that's like actually one of the things that could happen because even though you're not working out, your internal body is doing a lot of work to adjust with your diet, with the removal of certain stimulants and things that you've become used to over the years or whatever. And so, your body's going through in a sense, a bit of trauma. And it's like withdrawal, I guess is the best thing that I can compare it to. I've not been in a situation in my life where I just felt the ultimate need to quit doing everything and anything that was potentially causing a health problem for me. Matt says, proud of you. Thank you, Matt. Appreciate that. And again, just like all of a sudden, it puts things into perspective, like how irritable I am. Like I can still eat and I'm still eating, but the nicotine is killing me because even though I don't vape on high nicotine levels, it's only like 3 milligrams. That's still, I mean, it's still there, and I've cut that out completely. The drinking, while like I realized where I'm like, I kept saying to myself for so long, like all of last year and into this year, I'm like, it's just a thing, you know, it's not controlling me, it's not, and I would pour a drink, and I would wait, I'd have another drink later on that afternoon or whatever, and just keep on pouring them. And I would stop at a certain point because I didn't want to be like hung over the next day. But I mean, come on, when you're drinking like 4 or 5 drinks a day of scotch, and I mean, they're not like small drinks either. They're like, filled pretty high up. Like that's a problem. That's a problem. I'm just glad that I found an opportunity to do something that's going to help me get past that. Because, man, I'm not getting any older. Huh, I'm not getting any younger. I'm not getting any older, you guys. The heck with that. I just said stop aging, and that's all there is to it. No, I'm not getting any younger. Um, and so the things that I do with my, you know, doing with my body are not going to bounce back from certain things quite so easily. Um, and this is cannot easily cannot have alcohol, sugar, and savory foods. Food is more of a difficulty for me than any drug. Yeah, tell me about it, dude. There are so many things. My wife and I went to the Nashville Farmers Market. Um, Godfrey Bear, hey, what's up, Bear? Godfrey Bear is in the house. Working on more of your rune sets here. Said that the body count would be staggering. Yeah, no doubt. But to go back to what I was saying, like my wife and I went to Nashville this Sunday, this past Sunday. Um, Went to the farmers market, and they've got like all kinds of food vendors and things all over the place. They got this wood fired oven pizza place, they got a burger place, they got barbecue. They got all this amazing stuff that I'm smelling and I'm wanting, and I couldn't eat it. And that was guys, that was so difficult. That was so. I'm like, I might like get me out of here, sort of thing. But we stayed. I didn't eat anything from those places. What I did eat was a vegan taco, gluten-free vegan taco. Believe it or not, it was actually pretty darn good. I'm not gonna lie. It was a asada. I forget what they called it. But like how like carne asada is like steak. Well, the asada was a soy product, and it was seasoned with it was all organic, all whole food type stuff. And so I saw exactly what they're putting in it. It was like cumin and paprika or kind or whatever the heck, no salt, very healthy. And then cilantro and onion, all of the things that I could eat on a corn tortilla. Again, things that I can eat. So it wasn't fried. It was just, on a skillet, on a griddle, just the corn tortilla was just laid on there to warm up. And I'm like, it actually wasn't that bad. I'm like, people talk crap about vegan food all the time. Like, not that I'm going to abandon meat. That's the other thing too. This diet, it's like there's very little meat involved. And then like after this week, like after Thursday of this week, no animal byproducts. It's all like greens and fruits and vegetables. And um, my protein sources are going to come from like beans, and I think tofu is on there. Here's the progress. There's Yera. There's some movement going on. We got movement, timely movement. The back of it, all shading in. But yeah, Godfrey Bear drinks 4 pots of coffee on top of other things. Like I was saying, man, I drank, uh, not like a pot of coffee a day or whatever, but I would drink several cups of coffee a day on top of other things as well. Um, and yeah, it was a this whole thing has been a ride. Um, Goti is basically Goetia is basically the conjuring of certain celestial spirits. What are you talking about there, Wyatt? Oh, I've been studying something interesting for a while now, catching up on the comments. Have you ever heard of Goetia? No, I haven't actually. Um, but I also haven't heard of a lot of things. So that's a certain celestial spirits. Okay, interesting. How's that working out for you? As a reminder to everybody that's watching, we don't have a lot of people listening. Thank you, Thunder Horse. This is looking good. Appreciate that. See you back when you get here, Wyatt. As a reminder for everybody that's tuning in and watching, March 19th, I'm doing a very special live stream here on the channel as a sort of celebration for for Midgard Musings' third consecutive year. We're celebrating 3 years running over here. So join the live stream. It's going to be, like I said, Friday, March 19th, starting at, I believe it's 8 p.m. Eastern, 7 p.m. Central Time. Matt is going to be a guest. Matt from Odin's Beard Woodworking. I've got several other guests. We've got Dingo. We've got, I think, Flatline to Beatline, the Nightshade, who's the host of that podcast. He'll be on. We've got J.M. Olafson from the Fjallvetur wood shop or whatever. He does a lot of awesome shamanistic type projects and things of that nature over there from North Carolina. So he'll be a part of it as well. My friend Richard Kuhn from he's got like some bands or whatever that he's been in, but he's an Enochian. He's not a heathen, but he's going to be joining us. Greg from Raven Moon Hearth, which is a local heathen kindred here in the Nashville area. They do a lot of awesome stuff. He'll be on there, maybe some other guests as well. It's going to be a good time. It's going to be a lot of fun. A lot of cool people to join. It's going to be everybody here on one screen that's joining. Matt says he's excited. I'm excited too. I'm thrilled about it. In here 3 years, and you guys have been all here with us for that duration. So it's great to have the people to collaborate with. Trying to get some more people. I'm trying to get somebody who I've collaborated with on this channel a couple of times. I'm hoping that they'll be able to join. Don't want to say who yet to build your hopes up. I mean, a burp in your ears, that's rude. Don't want to build your hopes up, but I'm hoping that this individual who I've collaborated with a number of times is free and able to join. We shall see. Last I checked, the willingness was there. What I do just need to do is I need to kind of line out an agenda, so that way we know, people that join, kind of what to expect. At such and such a time, here's what's going to happen. At another such and such a time, here's what's going to happen. Got the live stream bookmark. Hey there, Chainmail has got the live stream bookmarked. Excellent. Everybody, I suggest you do the same. Mark it on your calendar. Set a reminder on your phone. March 19th at 8 p.m. Eastern, 7 p.m. Central. Let's make it a party. Let's bring as many people here as we can. Tell your friends about it too. I want to see, triple-digit live stream numbers if possible. I think if everybody were to bring, 5 friends that's here right now, we'd be halfway there. So tell your friends, tell your mom, tell your pets, tell anybody with a Google account to sign up, sign in, subscribe to the channel, and join the live stream here on March 19th, 8 p.m. Eastern. Doing a Mjolnir necklace giveaway, Matt. Sure, why not? We can come up with some. Some rules and regulations for that. So sure, why not? Matt's here. I say go for it. He's willing to do it. So yeah, you guys have the opportunity to win a Mjolnir necklace that Matt carves. Yes, it is a Friday. Alfred, it is Friday, March 19th, 8 p.m. Eastern. If I can get it, see if I can get the link for you here. Hold on just a second. Segundo. Un momento, por favor. I will get you that information in a second here. Videos. Oh yeah. Boom. Yeah, here it is. So I'm going to post the link in the chat. That is the live stream link that will be going on next Friday. Not, is it next Friday? Yes, it is. It's not this coming Friday, but next Friday. Yeah. So not next Friday, but this coming. Not this coming, but next. Backwards. There's the link. Posted it in the live chat. So I think you can set a reminder for that. So please do let your friends know, share it around. Come join the festivities, maybe win a Mjolnir necklace that Matt carves. Cool. Thanks, Alfred. Sounds like you can make it. Awesome. Looking forward to it. Ceremonial magician. Cool. We got some dialogue about some stuff that I've never heard of. So I have no horse in that race. Hold on a second. And sorry, just sending a message to somebody. Bingo. Bingo Rama. Do you know DH Thorn is? That was your source. Don't know. Never heard of him. Maybe chainmail is heard. Medicating. What were we discussing? Yeah. Godfrey Bear, we were discussing all kinds of things. I was basically saying that I've been a grouchy old bear myself for the last few days, and probably for the foreseeable future because of this detox cleanse thing that I'm on. But it's for a good reason, and I'm going to stick with it because, you know, I dropped all kinds of money on this program, so I don't want to give up and then be like, well, all that was a waste. But this is helping, you know, doing stuff like this. Again, last night yesterday was just a really rough day. I was out of sorts. I was irritable. I couldn't focus on things. Today wasn't much. Today was a little bit better, but I'd had a migraine last night and into this morning, and I woke up kind of like I've been in a fog all day, and now here I am, following the live stream that Matt did on his channel, to spend time here and work on more of your rune set and try to get this done. I think that by tomorrow night, I will definitely have it done, and then it should be out in the mail by Thursday. That is my goal. I was hoping to have it done by yesterday, but again, the way things kind of panned out, I didn't get really anything done Sunday night because I was spending all day with my wife. We really tried to improve our quality of time together when she's around, to include, you know, doing things and spending time with each other, not just sitting around and staring at our phones all day. Look interested in looking more about the Book of Enoch. Yeah. So yeah, on the 19th year, Alfred, my friend, he's kind of, I don't think he's kind of he takes an interesting approach, with, you know, Enochian magic and stuff like that. He's much more into the philosophy of it all than he is into the lore. And he has his own opinions on, you know, John Dee and those people that kind of made occult magic and Enochian texts and all that kind of stuff a thing. So it's going to be interesting. It's going to be kind of an open discussion about it. So he'll be on hopefully talking some more about that. It's going to be a lot of heathen related discussion. I still again have to outline an agenda, keep things moving along in a smooth sort of fashion. But it is, let me tell you, it's interesting. I've not read it, but I've listened to like an audiobook on it. I think on YouTube here you can listen to like an audio book reading of the Book of Enoch, and it's fascinating. It's absolutely fascinating. It captured my attention one night. Richard, who you guys will see on the live stream on 19th, you know, he had me like watching it, and we were sitting there and pausing the video and talking about things. And I was like, this is incredible. Like we just had some um, really cool discussions around the whole Book of Enoch and Enochian keys and texts and all this kind of stuff. Um, do I do Chainmail's asking, do I do any daily rituals? Um, like I have my routines or my rituals when it comes to like religious or spiritual practices. Um, yeah, yeah, I do. I actually I've done some a bit more lately because of things going on with myself, that like I said before, like I was trying to improve on, and so I'm really wanting to make sure that I've, got the attention of my ancestors and things like that, especially because I feel like they have a vested interest in my success when it comes to this. So especially, ancestral work, small rituals to my ancestors and whatnot. I don't gift or have any rituals daily to the gods, and I have a reason for that. But I did recently do a ritual and do something to Thor for this whole thing because of. Cool. All right. So yeah. Good night, Alfred. Hope to see you soon. Thank you for joining. But I do. It's kind of like when the occasion calls for it. If I'm looking for just some added backup, or I feel like the gesture is warranting, some dealings with the sacred. I don't gift to them every day. It's not a daily thing for me with the gods. Um, but I do have some daily rituals for like my ancestors, the House Fatir or Husfatir, and then um, I had for a while been doing regular, not daily, but regular things with the Lanfatir. I don't engage with the Lanfatir daily either. But the Husfatir and my ancestors and all that kind of stuff, yes, I try to stay pretty active with things like that. Um, I think it's important. I think it's a good idea to develop your own hearth cults in that sort of way, because it helps establish stability and builds tradition and all that kind of stuff that's important as a heathen. I feel like it's something that doesn't get, I think it's stuff like that that seems to get overlooked, um, or missed amidst all of this, the modern hoopla and all the modern, focus on just things in our modern world. People sometimes think that there's more importance that needs to be put on, um, what did you think about this article, or what did you think about what that person said, or why didn't you respond to this thing, that, or the other accordingly? What does that make you? Blah blah blah. There, there's more focus on things like that and trying to maintain a certain public image. I feel. Daily rituals for Godfrey Bear are the wife's department. Um, that makes a lot of sense, and I think that that's a great. I think that's great because the women traditionally are, and this is in no way to sound sexist or whatever, but women are the caretakers of the home, just like Frigg is kind of over the mothers and of the hearth and home, or at least tends to show a strong precedence or precedence, whatever you want to call it. She presides over the hearth, the home, the women, the mothers, that sort of thing. So I feel that, and then we also see in other things like Sumbel, the tradition or the ritual of Sumbel, that the woman of the hall, the lady of the hall, whoever the designee is usually female to um, perform the Sumbel ritual, to carry the cup and to pass it around in ritual. And there's an important role in that. The Norns are female, so there's a lot of importance placed on women and the feminine, and something that I think gets overlooked, especially as well in Norse heathenry. It's always about the guys and Thor this and macho that, and you got to be you got to lift weights and you got to be macho and you got to do all the, he's there's more to it. There's the focus on the feminine is missed and overlooked. So I'm glad to hear, Godfrey Bear, that your wife has an important role in daily rituals. Hey there, Dingo. Dingo is in the live chat. I was mentioning him before. My brother. He's going to be on the live stream on February 19th, joining us, talking about all kinds of cool things. You know, got to come up with an agenda, but don't do anything daily, sort of just roll with whatever happens. Why? And that's okay. You know, you do you, boo boo. Whatever you're inclined or willing to do. Nobody's here saying that you should do this, you should do that. I found that it's become part of my hearth cult. It's become part of my individual cultic practices to incorporate some sort of daily ritual to the ancestors and to the Husvitir and that sort of thing. You know, when and as you see fit or not for you and in your practices, then by all means, that's on you, and that's up for you to decide. Still learning a lot. You know, we're all still learning. Yeah, Dingoes, we all have daily rituals, a process by which to continue our day. Yeah, and that's what I'm saying. You know, like we all have a thing that we do. We all get up at a certain time. We all do a certain thing after we get up. That's a ritual, you know, whether it's, you know, drink your coffee or read an article on, I was going to someone say read the newspaper like we're in the 50s or whatever, but you know what I mean? Yeah, like so Dingo said, like ritual doesn't have to be mystical. I was going to say it doesn't have to be religious or spiritual. It's a thing. It's just it's a repetitive practice that we do every day that makes our lives our lives. You know. So we all have a ritual. We all have things that we do daily. Nobody's just out here kind of, at least I don't think, winging it. Everybody has a structure. Everybody has a plan for how they tackle their day and how you want to make it, you know, work for you. About focusing the mind, intuitive messages. Yeah. Consider apathetic work in ritual, but it's more a pain than a ritual. Yeah. Small as making the bed, right? Like Matt says, that's a ritual, you know. Brushing your teeth, eating a meal, sending your kids to school, going to work, you know, all these things are, you know, you do the same thing at the same time, whether it's every day or on structured certain days. Like that's a ritual. There's ritual elements to it for sure. Thank you for helping point that out, Dingo. Personal things can't share. Sorry for being vague. No, that's fine. You know, I don't expect anybody to share personal things. I don't go into great detail when sharing personal things myself either. Just like I'm telling you, I mean, I'm being pretty vague in my response. You asked, you know, do I do any? And I said yes, and went into some detail about what that meant, but specifically, no, I'm not going to say what I do and how I do it. That's private. That belongs in my roof tree, or belongs in my inner yard, whatever guard, whatever term you want to put to it, right? Is that there? Make sure she has what she needs, stays plugged in, ground being awesome guard for Bear. Yeah, definitely. One dangerous try Clipoth. What is that? Clipoth? I don't know. Dango might know what that is. He's a bit more into the mystical stuff and has a lot more experience and a lot more background in other things beyond just Norse mysticism and shaman type work or anything like that. He's my Gothi for a reason. Our Gothi, our tribe's Gothi. He holds that position for a reason. So, but yeah. Talking about things of the unknown, working on Perthro now, coming along. You can kind of see the shadings coming along. Perthro is the lot cup. It's mystery, it's things that are unknown. Sometimes you just shoot the dice, and whatever it is to be will be. Even within your best efforts, things just kind of happen and do what they do sometimes. So as far as demons go, I think any Germanic spiritualist would should get in touch with the Jotun. Yeah, I haven't really gone into a whole lot of discussion when it comes to like Jotun veneration. I mean, let's face it, a lot of the gods that of the Aesir, that we choose to honor and venerate, are part Jotun themselves. Odin, Thor, you know, uh, so many others that are part Jotun that have Jotun stock. Um, but to be like entirely fixated on the Jotun, I mean, the Jotun exist and they have a role in the myths and in the lore as agents of chaos. They seek to destroy the order that the gods have set so many times. So I feel that the ultimate focus on Jotun, or what you would call the Roka true types, you know, um, are the types of people that are into what may be referred to in modern day as like chaos magic, chaos type things. You run risks uh, when you get into like devoted strictly into that, because it's a vicious cycle. Chaos seeking order is a thing. Um, it's kind of like what our universe is all about. Um, and there has to be balance. All of the things in our lore kind of show a cyclical balance of this order, and then something that is inserted that disrupts that order, and then it's chaotic, and then there's order sought back out, and then so it's round and round she goes. But it's part of it. There's a place, but it's to stay focused entirely on it all the time. Just I feel like it kind of tips the scales. Um, Sephiroth or maddening. So he knows what's going on. Dingoes knows what's going on. He knows the business, as I suspected. Godfrey Bear's animal, Thurisas Rune, the gateway. Yeah, breaking through. Thurisas is an interesting rune to me. It's defense. It's proactive defense. It's not waiting for something to happen. It's breaking through before something happens. It's taking that proactive defensive approach. It's a very very active force type rune. It's not a let's sit and wait and see what happens and shield wall kind of rune. It's a lower the spears and charge sort of type rune to me, right? Oh yeah, Sephiroth and the Kabbalah did an album that was Enochian Keys. Did you now, Dingo? Huh. Well, let's put that on the agenda. Let's talk about that on the live stream. Coming up on the 19th, because we're gonna have Richard on here. We're gonna have Richard on here, and I didn't know if he knew that. You might have mentioned it to him before, but um, we can bring that up, because I definitely want to include him in the live stream with some discussion about that stuff. Even though he may not get into like the Enochian keys, and he's a bit more into like energies and crystal magic and things like that. He definitely uses the philosophies and stuff from the Book of Enoch as a guide in his spirituality. So it might be cool to include that when we have him on that the 3-year bash, the 3-year anniversary bash, or whatever we're gonna call it, 3-year celebration of Midgard Musings. Wild, right? Considering 3 years, in 3 years almost. Wondering how long you guys have been tuning in. I know Dingo has for he's been my buddy for before Midgard Musings, really. We've developed a pretty strong bond, him and I, and talk about stuff. Shoot, man, we talk every day, basically, almost every day. Uh, might be a time where a day or two goes by, but then we're like catching up like big time. But yeah, curious to know like how long everybody else has been um, tuning into Midgard Musings, where you came from, how you found it, who brought you here, what brought you here. Yeah, like Dingo says, Dick, because that's what we call him. It's Richard's, Richard. It's Dick Mayhew. We sometimes will call him. It's it's an endearing term, but he's my brother too, man. Like Richard is he may not be heathen, he may not do the same things, but he's invited in all of our circles. He's invited at all of our tribe rituals and stuff. He's kind of like the an honorary member, and he always brings something good. He's good people. So kind of goes to show you that you don't have to just be stuck on one type of person just because what he does in his own hearth and what he does at his own home and how he practices his own spirituality. We've shared a lot of good conversation and we've learned a lot from each other, and he's he's definitely one that I consider brother as well. Go to Matt, remember you're in charge at least 2.5 years, Matt. Yeah, man, I can't shoot, man. It's wild just thinking about time and what has happened and where we've come from and what we've all done within that time. You think about 3 years. I was not definitely the same person back then. I'm sure none of us were. Not the same person or bear, for that matter. Now as we were back then, and then just look at the way the world has changed in that time. Heck, just within the last year. If you joined, or I say joined, but if you like found out about Midgard Musings this time last year or before, and it's been a year or a little bit over since then, look at how much the world has changed in just that short period of time. We're just now getting to a point where I like to think about opening up public meetups and moots or whatever here in the Middle Tennessee area for Middle Tennessee heathens, and see about building and growing our tribe some more. Like that's something that now that we're seeing things kind of open back up, and we're the world is slowly, gradually, at least in this area, kind of coming back to normal. Nothing's going to ever be the normal that we knew way back when, but I say way back when, year before last year or over a year ago. But if we can get park moots and stuff set up and meet at places and meet new people like that, that's going to be great. Definitely looking forward to that, and I think other people are as well. People are ready. People are ready to get out and start meeting people. So as long as we do it safely and considerably, for everybody involved, it'll be good. It'll be good for all of us. Yeah, Dingo brings up a good point. I missed Richard and Charlie, his fiance. They're getting married. What's it? In a few months, couple of months. May, is it? I think they're getting married in May. So yeah, they are wonderful people. Totally agree. But like Dingo says, be careful mixing magic. It's not about culture. It is about chemistry and math. It's important to realize kind of the forces. He'll explain it better, but I would tend to lean to agree on what Dingo's saying. He comes and he speaks from a place of experience, and I trust him. So Not saying you should just because I'm saying you should. I'm just offering my insight, such as it is. Ancestral specific magic is real. It's a function of your identity, unlike math, which is ethnic neutral. Yeah. Ancestral veneration is one thing. Yeah, for sure. I think that's what you meant, chainmail, if I was saying right. Ancestral magic, ancestral specific magic, and the things that you do to connect with your ancestors. Which doesn't have to be a whole hell of a lot because, again, they're your ancestors and they're already connected to you through weird and either through Orlog. You know, their deeds that carried over somewhat to you that you inherited through the Orlog. I mean, they're there, but connecting specifically with certain one or ones, you know, that's kind of up to you to individually to figure out. Because let's face it, not all ancestors are the type we want to reconnect with, right? Some people were real douchebags, and we may just want to leave well enough alone and say, you know what, you're fine being forgotten. There's a reason why the family doesn't talk about you anymore, or when we do, it's all unsavory things. So it's definitely a thing. Never could see myself in heathen ostrich 6 years ago, but the gods called me. Yeah. There's definitely a pull, I feel, and whatever end you feel like it's, or whichever source you think it is that's pulling you. I remember feeling the exact same way about, oh, it's the gods that called me. It's the gods that called me. And over the years, and as I've grown as a heathen, my mind has grown and changed as well, and evolved. And I feel that it was more of an ancestral pull. I feel that as my ancestors did certain things, and as I was looking to become a better person, that I was feeling a pull back to my roots, and I wanted to learn more about those sorts of things, how my ancestors may have done things, and so I feel that as at a majority level, it's been my ancestors that have pulled me back to this. And the gods have always been there. The gods will always be there, whether or not we feel that we want to give them time or day. Benefit that comes with giving them the time of day, I think, exists on a larger scale on a tribal level. But again, I'm not saying that. Nope, you're talking out of your mind if you think that the gods called you. I'm not here to say that is or isn't the case. And don't take that from anybody who would try to say that. You're going to get those types, though. There are those people out there that are like, there's no way you could have been called to the gods because look at this source, look at that source. You know what? You take that source and bury your nose in it for all I care, because let people feel what they want to feel. It's not hurting you. It's not hurting anybody. Let them find their way about things themselves. Let them learn things themselves. Be a guide. Be a voice to maybe help teach or whatever and stuff. But people just tend to get so butthurt over the dumbest of things. Um, it's like I don't feel like I would respond well to that sort of approach. Somebody telling me, well, actually, what you're feeling is XYZ. You're not feeling what you say you're feeling. Okay, well, I'm like, if I were to hear that, I'd be like, sorry, who are you? Tell me what I feel or don't feel, and what gives you the right. So, but over time, the more I've learned, the more I've read, the more I've studied, the more I've spent time in heathenry and developing my own worldview of things based off of what I've learned, the more I pick up and adopt a thought myself and think of things in a certain way differently than I did years ago. So I think that's just part of the organic growth of my tree, of myself. You know, that's just kind of how I'm developing and growing as a heathen now. Who knows where I'll be next year? Who knows what I'll be thinking about? Who knows what thoughts I'll have by next go around? You know, it's remains to be seen. A lot of stuff like this is what helps shed light on things for me. I hear people's ideas, I hear people's things, I research, I look into it, I try to see things from that perspective. I say, well, if it fits, does it work? Let's give it a go. You know. Spiritual atheist, why? Yeah, well, it's cool that you're here, man, and it's cool that you continue to be here because there's a lot of, you know, yes, this platform is focused on heathenry, but it's not cut off at any given, you know, it's not cut off to people like you're going to see hopefully when you join the live stream, not this Friday but next Friday on the 19th. You know, there's an audience of heathens. There's an audience flatline to beatline, for example. You know, Richard's not a heathen. He's what he is. Flatline to beatline, that podcast, Nightshade. You know, he's whatever he is. He's pagan, witch, Norse heathen. I don't know. I think he's his own thing. He adopts a lot of different approaches to things, and he's I don't want to speak on his behalf, but hopefully we'll have him on that live stream to talk about more stuff like this because his show has all kinds of folks on it, you know, from Satanists to occultists to atheists and everything in between, pagan, witch, even all kind of stuff. So it'll be a fun conversation. And it's great to have a mix of things here. You never know what you might hear or learn and be able to implement in your own practices. Jane Mill says the way to you that the pull was too obvious to ignore. In all your practices, different paths, have not ever experienced anything like this. I can definitely relate to that. You know, I grew up and was raised Christian in a very, very devout sort of way. Read the Bible, not just, you know, I've read the King James Bible 7-8 times, cover to cover. Did my own Bible studies, things of that nature. I was pretty deep into it. But you know, so coming from that and having a worldview like that to heathenry and feeling a pull like I did, because I didn't just go from Christianity into heathenry. You know, I had a spell of just being like, you know what, whatever it is, I don't know what it is, and I don't know. So I was, I don't know, that's agnostic. I don't know. I believed in something, just didn't really have my compass set. I wasn't really sure what to believe in. And then I don't know what it was. You know, one day I was looking at, I don't know, it might have just been, I think it was like, trying to remember like the moment of this is the path I want to take. Might have seen something online, Facebook post or whatever, and I remember looking at my tattoo because I have a Mjolnir tattoo and I've had it for a decade. Well, no, been in Tennessee for 15, 16 years. So yeah, I've had my tattoo probably for a good 12, 13 years, over a decade. Well before I was a heathen. And I was looking at it and I was going, yeah, what is this about? You know, what it means something to me. I got it because it meant something to me. It meant strength and it meant perseverance and it meant, you know, power, you know, against all odds, you can make it through on things. And I was like, there's more to this than just that. There's something else to it. Started, you know, looking into Norse mythology and then realized that there's actually a religion circulating around this and that it's not just a mythology, that there's, you know, historical things about ancestors of mine that were most likely heathen as well, because I'm Dutch and German and all kinds of, you know, that jazz. So I'm like, well, this is wild. And next thing you know, one thing led to another and boom, there I am. There's Tiffany. Hey, Tiffany. Hello. I know of you, not met in person, at least not yet, but I know of you. So hail and welcome. Heard a lot of great things about you. Thank you for joining. In the middle of Algis, one of my favorite runes. Dingo knows. A rune that I personally see closely tied to Heimdall, the watchman of the gods, the overseer of the Bifrost Bridge. You know, I don't know if anybody else shares the same sentiment about this particular rune, but I see Algis as a rune of Heimdall because it's a protection rune of protection and higher self. You know, connecting to the sacred in a way, a connection rune, a rune to get you there, kind of to bridge the gap, as it were. You know, and that's why I believe that's why I feel like Algis is something that is closely tied to the Heimdall. So there's Algis. Uh, hey, Alexides, if I said that right, hail and welcome to the live stream. You're just in time for me to start the Sowilu rune. Right now, I'm burning a rune set, or finishing up the details of a rune set that I started last week for friend of the channel here, Godfrey Bear, in the live stream, if he's still around. And probably just sitting back there like the bears do and just, you know, chilling and keeping an eye on things the way he does. But this is his and his wife's rune set that I'm making. This rune set's going out to them this week, all the way up in Canada. So Vinland Saga was yours. Yeah. Okay. Hail Heimdall, Algis guards your sacred space. Yes, it does. The Vey or the what you called it, was it the Woodland Cathedral that you've called it for so long? I call it the Vey because it's the circle where we've done we did our winter nights ritual this past year. Been out there for a lot of different things. You of course grew up there basically. And yeah, you've got that huge stick, the huge staff that is shaped like Algis, positioned right at the entrance to the Vey. I use this rune a lot. I use Algis a lot for or with certain bind runes that I make. There's usually always a place for Algis in it, especially when you're making something specific for someone and their specific ask or need is for guidance or protection. You know what I mean? Against destructive forces. Algis is definitely a protective rune and guards against those Jotun forces, as it were. So I felt. John Watkins, evening. Hello, welcome. You're also in time for the continuation of the rune set that I'm finishing up for Godfrey Bear. Working on Sowilu right now, shading on the pieces of the rune. These lines have all been wood burned into these driftwood pieces, which start out very plain. Nothing fancy about them. It's very plain, and then I etch the runes, wood burn the runes into the piece, and then work on shading around them to kind of give them an aged look. But for those just joining the live stream, like John and Tiffany and Alex, if you're still there, we have a big live stream coming up on March 19th. I'm going to post the link to that here in the live chat. So for anyone who's wanting to kind of like RSVP, make a note of that because we're going to have a large audience on this one. I'm hoping we're going to have Dingo here on the live stream joining. He'll be on screen. We're going to have hopefully Nightshade from the Flatline to Beatline podcast. We're going to have Matt from Odin's Beard Woodworking, Greg from Raven Moonhearth, Richard over there we were talking about earlier. He's a close friend and a brother of mine who is not heathen, but he's into like Enochian type stuff, Enochian keys, magic, whatever. also hoping to have or planning to have J.M. Olafson from the Fjallvetur workshop. He's a shaman for the Urdip kindred. He'll be on here as well. Maybe some other guests. I'm hoping to have another guest who I've collaborated on the channel with before. There's the link for the live stream. You guys can check it out. That's coming up on March 19th at 8 p.m. Eastern time, 7 p.m. Central. So if you're outside of the domestic U.S., just kind of adjust your time zones as as you see fit there, as accordingly. But I am hoping for another guest to have to be joining us on this. I have to confirm. I asked him about it, but I have collaborated. Elma Fudd. I've collaborated with this individual a number of times here on the channel. So hoping that their schedule will allow them to hop on and be a part of the conversation for a while. So tell everybody about it. If you got folks that that like this sort of stuff, Norse heathenry, Germanic paganism, Osatru, whatever. But anything else too. It's going to be a 3-year celebration live stream because Midgard Musings is celebrating 3 years concurrent running. Next week, March 18th is the actual anniversary, but we're celebrating on Friday, March 19th. So up there in the comments is the live stream information. Be sure to check it out. Mark your calendars. Don't miss it. Dingo's going to be on screen. Yeah, he is. He is, Tiffany. He's definitely going to be on screen. So now's your chance to take advantage of it. We're all going to be on screen. We're all going to be on screen. You're not going to be looking down at an angle like this. It'll be a whole bunch of us on screen. But I'm sure if we just got Dingo on here, that's all you'd care about. But yeah, he'll be on screen. Matt will be on screen. Wyatt says, imagine Jesse would just put up a picture of a dingo on the screen. Yeah, it's that one that he's in the memes all the time. It's not a dingo. It's one of those dogs that get what's the latest meme that he's featured in with a bat getting bonked on the head, going to horny jail. What are those dogs called? They're a Japanese breed, I think. They're Japanese like sheepdog or something. You guys know what I'm talking about. They got a weird name. What is their freaking name? Yeah. I don't know. It's one of those things. But anyways, yeah, it would be that. It would be a picture of that. It would be a picture of that. That would be the thumbnail for Dingo or the picture of Dingo if you couldn't actually be on screen. We'll just put a picture of one of those dogs and have the bat going on him, hitting him, bonk. You go to horny jail. Shiba Inu. Thank you, Tiffany. That's the one. Yeah, the Shiba Inu. They are cool. I always wanted one of those, and then I realized they're like $5,000 or more. If you want to get like a pure breed Shiba Inu. But they look so cool. Man, they look so cool. It used to be like one of my favorite dog breeds. They are not cheap though. At least not that I remember. I was looking into them, like, yeah, so what if I wanted to, forget about that. And just go to the shelter and find one. We've got 3 dogs ourselves, which is enough. You ask my wife, she says it's not. But I'm like, look, for our little house, for our small house and where we live, that's plenty. We had a bigger place like out in the country or whatever like that, maybe, for them more room for them to like run and play and stuff like that. But we got 2 little dogs and then like a lab mix. So our small domicile is plenty for those. They are meme worthy, right, Tiffany? They're like a living, walking meme, much like some people I know. And them seem to be having a good time unless they're having alcohol in them. Freyer's a little off, you think? I'll tell you what, if he's off, then I don't want to be on. Prayer's my dude, one of my dudes anyway. He's like, we we dedicated our winter nights ritual to Frere. Um, and that was really fun, really cool. Um, plus, I mean, like it's all about the fertility aspect of life, and flaunting it and being like, is that a cucumber in your pocket, or are you just happy to see me kind of guy? Um, why? Well, who wouldn't dig that? You know what I mean? No homo, but nothing against it if you are, but like, dude, like, Frere's my guy. He's blessed my crops plenty of times. I continue to give to him um, in my own way when and as the time calls for it. Um, thanks, Dingo. Yeah. Does my wife have the same beliefs as me? Says Chainmail. No, not exactly. She is very much a spiritual type of person, though. She's not Norse, like she's not into like the Norse spirituality of things. She's a bit more eclectic, um, dealing with like more of like let's say Wicca types of things. But she's very nature based. She's really in tune with nature and the elements. So she finds her spirituality in the elements, in fire, in water, in earth, air, um, you know, the ground, all that types of stuff. And she's really into that sort of thing. She has been a part of some of our rituals. Um, One of the first, like not this past Yule, but the one before it, she was actually in the Sumbel ritual because she's the one who passed the cup, the horn, during Sumbel. This year's Sumbel was a bit different because we all weren't drinking out of the same horn. We were using a centralized cup or a centralized well for our Sumbel ritual. So there was no passing around of chalices or cups. Everybody had their own cup or whatever to drink from, and then we would say our piece. We would do our thing, and then pour the libation or pour whatever it was that we were drinking into the well to sort of add it to the luck of ourselves and of the tribe. So although she's not Norse pagan, she does not mind me doing it at all, and she's 100% supportive of it, um, and does her own thing, and we jive well just fine. We coexist and we love each other without having to both be Norse pagans at the same time. They're in the same way. So beliefs don't really clash, though, to answer that question. So I think that may have answered it, but no, not at all. Because I feel that there's a lot of nature elements. Well, I mean, it is. There's so much nature elements to Norse paganism. I mean, I feel so close to the gods and to the sacred when I'm out in nature, when I am near the waterfalls, when I am by the creeks, when I am amongst the trees, when I am, you know, uh, just in nature in general. I feel so close to the sacred, and I feel a connection in that way. So we jive just fine, you know. This will be the last one for tonight. I'm going to do Tiwaz before I end the live stream. So there it is before I add the shading. So you guys just stick around with me for the next about 15 minutes or so or less. I'll shut the live stream down at, we'll call it 10, 10 o'clock my time, 11 o'clock your time if you're on the East Coast. We'll go for about another 15 minutes here. Finish up Tiwaz. I've had water. Thanks for the reminder, Matt. I've been drinking so much water. I've like my teeth are floating constantly. Mineral water. It's distilled water with like added minerals. Gotta stay hydrated. Freyr is the personification of big D energy. You're dying right, son. You got that right. That is faux show. Know what I'm saying? I've seen Odin shoot some guys I work with some dirty looks, but I think that's normal. Yeah, the old man is just, he gives that wily eye every now and then, more than every now and then, even maybe. He's something else, though, boy. Old man don't play. Say that much. All right, so T-Wise, Tears Rune, yep. The one-handed god. Binder of not binder, but he gave of himself for Fenrir to be bound, kind of the caretaker of Fenrir, as they were. The only one who would be willing to pay the price for the tribe, for the greater good of the tribe, out of all the gods, it was Tyr that gave of himself in that way for the greater good. Something to be learned from that, I think, definitely. Um, when I drink too much water, I get a weird feeling in the back of my throat. I've drank, I used to be on this kick where I would do like intermittent water fast. I would, go for like a month of eating normal, and then I would take about 3-4 days. I've done like a 5-day water fast at one point, but I would take every month I would go for about a 3 or 4 day long water fast, and then go back to my normal eating routine, where I would drink like a gallon, nothing but like a gallon of water a day. I don't think I'm drinking quite a gallon right now. I think my water intake is somewhere between like, uh, let's see, I drink between 12 to 24 ounces about 4 times a day. So I'd say about at least half a gallon, maybe a little bit more, something like that. Basically, I drink 4 of these. You can see the size there, but I drink about 4 of these a day right now. Um, and this thing is a, well, I don't know, 24, yeah, 24 ounces is like right there, right almost to the top. So I fill it up a little bit past that. Tears Rune on Tears Day. There you go, Alex. Closing it out on Tears Rune on Tears Day. Very good. Very good observation. How fitting. I didn't even plan it that way. I just looked at the time and said, well, it's getting to be about that time where I need to think about, um, bedding down at some point. That's the other thing too, guys. Like with this diet cleanse program thing, like my energy levels are, at least at this early stage, again, I'm in day 6 going into day 7. My energy levels are not like what they normally are. You got to think I'm not eating as much carbs, a lot of greens. My protein sources are not as high, so I'm like not as energetic as I usually am. So like by the time like 10 o'clock, between 10 and 11 o'clock goes around, used to be I'd be like, well, the other thing too is like when 10 o'clock rolled around, I'd be like, all right, time for another drink. I'd pour another drink or two, and I'd stay up drinking until about 11:30, 12 o'clock. So not doing that. So I'm feeling kind of fatigued. I'm tired, and I'm going to bed earlier to try to get my rest. Plus, last night was just a horrible night for me. I again woke up on multiple occasions and stayed up for a while because of a migraine. Um, that feeling is called hydration. Tiffany says, yeah. That feeling in the back of your throat where you feel like you could sing. There's other feelings in the back of your throat that you don't want all the time. You got to be careful of that. Um, Might be the calcium they mix in the water. Yeah, depending on like this, the water that I'm drinking is bottled distilled water, and I'm adding a mineral additive to it. Keep my mineral intake high, or where it needs to be. It's all part of this program. It's all a part of the program um, that I'm on, along with all the other supplements and stuff that I'm taking. So it's very structured, very very regimented. You know, 100 ounces a day. Hydration is painful. Hydration is key though, man. If you don't stay hydrated, you'll die. Um, Everything in moderation. Don't want to overkill it. Don't want to go crazy. And that's what this program is helping me learn. Like everything in moderation. Yes, I need to stop doing things for a while to kind of get my body reset and to get myself back on track. But I'm not going to quit, enjoying things that I enjoy. But I'm learning moderation. I'm learning the fact that, you know what, one drink doesn't need to be 3, 4, 5, 6 drinks a day. You have a drink with dinner, or two, or whatever. That's fine. But that doesn't mean you gotta drown yourself in alcohol every day. And so that's one of the biggest things that this whole thing has taught me, or is teaching me. It's a tough lesson. It's a tough lesson, but it is for the good, for the greater good, I hope, not just for myself, but for others around me. Because like I said before, I'm not getting any younger, and the things that I do now are going to take a toll on my body in a different way than they would have, 10, 15 years ago. So I got to really pay attention to my body and be like, you can't be doing this to yourself. There's Alcohol takes a toll on your body too. That, you know what I mean? I was talking with my mom last night. She's like, "I'm glad you're doing this." She said, "Because I really think you have a drinking problem." Like, well, I'm not going to deny that. I said, "It's a problem when you look at the clock and it's like, oh, it's 1:30, time for a drink, and then you don't like you drink intermittently for the rest of the day just because you can. Like that's a problem. That is a drinking problem." I mean, like I said before, I was drinking myself to the point of like alcoholism, where I would be like, "Oh, I got to wake up and have a drink in order to function that day." And then there's such things as functioning alcoholics. I know some of them, on my wife's side of the family. I'm like, I don't want to be that. I can't be that. Don't forget your meds, like Matt says. Just took your meds. Don't forget yours. Matt's so great about that, guys. If you don't follow what he does on Facebook, if you're on Facebook, Airs Embrace, um, Odin's Beard Woodworking, he's always posting stuff in Airs Embrace about, self-care, self-love. So, it's okay to not be okay. You're not alone. Matt's great. That's so many things, but he's really great about consistency and reminding folks to take care of yourself. You know what I mean? Like take care of yourself. Don't let yourself go to crap, and don't let the don't let the battles win over you. You're bigger than your battles. He's been known to say that. I think you've actually got merch, right, Matt, on your Teespring, something that you're bigger than your battles, or he's got some really awesome merchandise. So just guys, go over to odinsbeardwoodworking.com. You can go to the Facebook page as well. Odinsbeardwoodworking.com is where he's got all his wood carvings, I believe, where he sells his wood carvings. But he's also got Teespring and other forms. There's a link tree that you can find on his social media. So please check him out. Support him in any way you can. There's literally dozens of ways that you can do so. Donate to him through PayPal or Ko-fi, or buy merchandise. Hey, if you can get something out of it and you want to buy something from the guy, even better, because you both win. He gets your support and you get a product. So bing bang boom, easy peasy lemon squeezy. And that being said, there's Tiwaz all finished up. So the bag that they come in is just a plain cloth bag, These runes are a little bit larger, so it's going to be a tight fit, but they'll fit in here. It's almost like Tetris, or like, yeah, like Tetris, like that game where the boxes and the blocks and the things fall down. You got to fit them in the right spot, you know. Let me put that over here, and let me change from this view over to this view where I can see you guys more. So yeah, there we go. It's better. Proud of you guys doing for better for yourselves. It's a great group, says Dingo. Tiffany says, I've taken all my meds on time all week so far. It's only Tuesday, but I'm trying to stay on it. Well, there was your reminder, Tiffany, and there was all of our reminders. Drink water, take your meds, eat a meal, take a shower, take care of yourself, go for walks. You are stronger than your battle. Never give up. Yeah, that was the one. Thank you, Matt. Guys, so again, for anybody that may have missed it before, Friday, March 19th is going to be the big 3-year celebration live stream here on YouTube. Just posted the link for that in the live chat. So be sure to check that out. I don't know how long the live stream is going to be going, but I can say that it'll be on for at least 2 hours. I will say that much because, when you have so many guests and you got guests that need to introduce themselves, you're going to need at least a good, 15, 30 minutes or so of the live stream to just introduce everybody and get everybody acclimated and know who these folks and stuff like that are. So I'm going to say it's probably going to be at least a 2-hour live stream, maybe longer, but we'll block it for 2 hours and go from there, see how everyone's feeling. So please let your friends and family know about it, share it around on your social media, tag people, at people on Twitter, share it to people's timelines on Facebook, whatever, and Instagram. We're not even on it. I mean, Midgard Musings has an Instagram, but we don't use it. So, share it on Instagram, share it on wherever. And so, yeah, like Matt says, and Dingo says, tomorrow would not be the same without us. It wouldn't. Tomorrow wouldn't be the same without you, because I couldn't be talking to you right now here. Wouldn't be the same without me, because obviously I wouldn't be here doing this. So yeah, tomorrow would not be the same without us. And as tough as it gets, I've had a lot of help and support recently with the thing that I'm going through. And because I get in these funks and I'm like, what's the point? La la la. And I got a lot of support from people that want to see me succeed and that want to, see me get through it. You can do this, all these encouragements. So I want to say thank you. Thank you, everybody that has given me those kind words of encouragement. And I appreciate it, because it's what helps keep me. It's what helps keeps me on the straight and narrow, as it were. You know what I mean? So you guys are great for being so encouraging and being there to kind of see me through it as well. And this is helpful to talk through it and to kind of vent a bit. So for whatever I can do for folks as well, you guys can always shoot me an email or comment on a video, and I'll do my best to respond. I try to at least react and respond to comments that I see in my videos. But again, you can @ me on Twitter, you can message me on Facebook, you can send me an email, midgardmusingstn@gmail.com. The Instagram chainmail, again, like I said, we don't use it, but I think it's just at Midgard Musings. It's in the link tree. So if you go to like the description of this video, you'll see it says all the ways that you can support Midgard Musings. Here, matter of fact, I'll put it here. Is it there on my link tree? Let me see. I may have taken it off. Hold on. I did take it off because we don't use it. So like I said, following me on Instagram is not going to do a whole heck of a lot, because there's nothing that gets posted there. I don't have the login for it anymore. My wife used to post stuff there every now and then, but that didn't happen. But I'll find it for you here if you're if you're looking for it, and then we'll go to we'll wrap this up here. Yeah, there it is. So it's literally, well, Midgard _ Musings is what it is. Midgard _ Musings. So here's the URL in case you want to follow it. But the biggest thing to you guys is you follow me on Twitter, like the Facebook page, and subscribe to the channel. And don't miss the live stream that's coming up on Friday, March 19th at 8 p.m. Eastern Time, 7 p.m. Central Time. The link that was up there is going to direct you to that stream. We'll be streaming live from there starting at that time. Thinking about making a link tree full of link trees. It's a link tree and a linkception, if you will. But all right, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, I want to say thank you for everyone for coming in to join. So thanks, Chainmail, Matt from Odin's Beard Woodworking. Guys, please check him out and support him. Thank you, Dingo, for being here, helping moderate the chat, and just being an awesome guy in general. Thank you, Wyatt Coverdale, for tuning in and being here. Also, Tiffany, Alex, Jeff Wright, who may not be here anymore, but everybody and anybody who I've missed, John Watkins, Jeff Wright, who else did I miss? Well, if I missed you, it wasn't intentional. I'm just looking through the chat to see who all commented. So thank you all so much for tuning into tonight's live stream. Hail, be safe out there, and we'll see you in the next one. Have a good night, everybody.